There is someone in your life who has never, not once, admitted they were wrong. And here's the thing. It's not stupidity. It's not stubbornness in the way we usually think of it. It's fear. And once you understand what's really happening inside them, you'll never see these people the same way again. We all know someone like this. Maybe it's a family member, a coworker, an ex. Maybe it's someone you see in the mirror on your worst days, the person who twists facts until they fit their version of events, who argues past the point of reason, who'd rather destroy a relationship than say 2 words, "I was wrong." Today, we're going inside the psychology of that behavior, why it happens, what it's protecting, and what it actually costs them. On the surface, it looks like arrogance, and sometimes it is, but more often, needing to always be right isn't about confidence, it's about survival. Here's what most people don't realize. The need to be right is almost always a need to feel safe. Psychologists call this ego-protective cognition. The brain doesn't separate a challenge to your opinion from a challenge to your identity. When someone says, "You're wrong," parts of the brain interpret that the same way they'd interpret a physical threat. The heart rate goes up, cortisol spikes, the rational prefrontal cortex partially shuts down. The person isn't choosing to be unreasonable. Their nervous system has already made that choice for them. And the deeper the wound, the more unstable their sense of self, the more intense that reaction becomes. This doesn't come from nowhere. Most people who can't admit to being wrong grew up in environments where being wrong was dangerous. Maybe it meant punishment, maybe it meant humiliation, maybe it meant their parents' love was suddenly conditional. So they learned early. I must be right to be safe. I must be right to be loved. I must be right to matter. And here's the cruel twist. That belief goes underground. It doesn't stay conscious. It becomes automatic, a reflex, a personality trait. By the time they're an adult, they don't think they're protecting themselves. They genuinely believe they are right. Their mind has been quietly editing reality their whole life to make sure that stays true. Psychologists call this motivated reasoning, the unconscious process of working backward from the conclusion you need to be true and finding evidence to support it. It's not lying. It's something worse. They believe every word. You've seen this pattern play out. You bring up a concern, they redirect to something you did. You stay calm. They escalate. You present facts. They question your memory. You disengage. They interpret that as proof they won. This is called DARVO. Deny, attack, reverse victim, and offender. It's a psychological defense mechanism, and it works. Not because it's logical, but because most people, when faced with enough emotional pressure, start to doubt themselves. That's the quiet damage these people do, not always through cruelty, sometimes just through relentlessness. And the people around them quietly shrink. They stop bringing things up, stop correcting small errors, stop having opinions out loud, because they've learned that being right around this person costs too much. Here's the part that will sit with you. The person who needs to be right all the time is almost never at peace. Think about it. If your entire sense of self depends on never being wrong, every conversation is a threat assessment. Every disagreement is a crisis. Every moment of uncertainty is terrifying. These people are exhausted. Not that they'd ever tell you. They live in a constant low-grade state of defensiveness, scanning for challenges, preparing counter-arguments, rehearsing justifications for things no one has even questioned yet. It's not power. It's a prison. And the lock is on the inside. The deepest irony? The moment they could admit to being wrong would be the moment they finally feel free. But that moment requires something they don't have yet, the belief that they are worthy even when they're not perfect. So what do you do with this? If you're dealing with someone like this, understand, you cannot argue them into self-awareness. You cannot win. And you cannot wait for them to come around on your timeline. What you can do is protect your own sense of reality. Stay anchored to what you know to be true. Limit how much access they have to your sense of self. And if this video hit different, if you recognize something in yourself, that recognition alone is significant. Because the people who truly can admit they're wrong never wonder if they're one of them. The fact that you're asking the question means you're already further along than you think. If this helped you understand someone in your life or yourself, drop it in the comments. And if you haven't already, subscribe. There's more coming.